Hi, I'm Natalie and welcome to Natalie's Core Yoga. Thanks for joining me. Today I'm going to show you just a short sequence that you can do to help work on your balance. You're going to need a chair. Any chair that doesn't have wheels will work. So in order to balance, it requires some focus, some core strength, and also some glute strength. So let's start with some awareness of your glutes. You can take your hands and place them on your behind. And see here if you can squeeze one glute without squeezing the other. So can you get your right one without your left? Can you squeeze your left without squeezing your right? You want to think not only of that bottom, like the larger area of your glutes, but your deeper muscles, your glute med and glute min. Feel as though you're pulling your hips both in and up. And just keep going, see if you can do a few, one side and then the other. You may notice, especially with your hand placement and the tactile feeling there, that one is most likely stronger or smarter than the other one. Okay, so now I'm going to see, can you hold that deep squeeze on your left side and lift your right foot up, just place it on the seat of the chair. You know, naturally what happens here, especially if you consider yourself to have tight hips, naturally your pelvis is going to want to come forward, your shoulders go back. So try to find where you're stacking your shoulders over your hips. You have a natural curve in your low back, so actually your pelvis is moving back slightly, not forward. Your left hip is pulling in and up. Now, if it helps you to balance, you can take your arms out to the side, maybe place your hands on your hips, or just take your arms down by your sides. Okay, now try not to grip the floor too hard with your left foot. And exhale to lift your right, inhale and put it back down. Exhale, lift your foot. Inhale, put it back down. Okay, we're gonna do this 4 times up and down. On the 5th time, you're going to see if you can hold your balance. As you hold, really connect. Are you squeezing your left glute? Are your shoulders stacked over top of your hips? And is your ankle wobbling all over the place? Just try to find a focus in yoga known as your drishti, something you can gaze at that is not moving. Okay, put your right foot down. Standing on your right foot, can you deeply squeeze your right glute, pull your right hip in and up, lift your left foot up onto the chair. Okay, now again, making sure neutral spine, little natural curve in your low back, right glute lifting in and up. Just find a placement for your arms, side on your hips or down by your sides. Exhale, lift your left foot, inhale and put it back down. Now, if you find there the moment that you lift your foot that you are sort of doing that forward movement with your pelvis, maybe try just grazing your foot barely off the chair. You don't have to lift it high, just trying to challenge your balance. Okay, and then on the 5th one, hold your foot up, hold your deep squeeze in your right glute. And just notice, is one side smarter, better at balance than the other? And also to note, so that you don't allow yourself to get frustrated, if your balance isn't great, maybe tomorrow will be better. It does change from day to day. Okay, placing your left foot back down. Let's try sideways now. So you're going to stand again on your left foot. Your right foot is going to come up on the chair sideways. Now try to be careful here that your left foot is aligned underneath your hip and you're not like in this angle this way. Okay, so again, find left glute lifting in and up, deep squeeze there. It's going to be easier on your right hip if you have your right foot a little bit further forward than your left foot. And again, exhale, lift your foot. Inhale, put it down. Exhale to lift. Inhale to lower. And again, notice I'm not lifting my foot very high, just trying to get a little bit of mobility in the hip. Stability with your balance. Okay, on the 5th one, we hold. Again, if you feel like you're losing your balance, the chair is there. Just put your foot back down if you need to. Okay. Okay, bring your leg in front of you and all the way back down. Let's pick up the chair, move it onto your left side. Okay, standing on your right foot. Left foot comes up. Again, make sure left foot is just a little bit further forward than your right foot. Okay, now find right hip lifting in and up. Deep squeeze your right glute. Trying there to find that alignment where your right foot is underneath your right hip. Exhale, lift your left foot. Inhale, put it back down. Okay, exhale to lift. Inhale to lower. Okay, on your fifth one, you're holding your foot up, challenging that balance. Now, balance is very important in life. We need it to do simple tasks just like walking. If you're unable to balance at all, this is where you start to see as people age, they start to shuffle. This is often because their hips are stuck and their glutes are weak. Okay, bringing your leg in front, put your foot back down. Now we're gonna have the chair in front of us, okay, and you're gonna take your hands on the chair. I often recommend putting your hands to the side, so just sort of the palm of your hand is on the chair, fingers off the chair. And when you start here, make sure your feet are relatively close together. If you start with your feet too far apart, you're gonna be quite lopsided in a moment here. Okay, now remember here when we're trying to involve your core, you don't want to suck your belly in. Instead, think from your ribs, and can you feel like you're sort of lifting your back ribs up just slightly? Not that you're rounding your back like this, but you're just trying to find that little bit of a lift up through your back ribs. Okay, now standing on your left foot, take your right leg back behind you. Now flex your right foot and see if you can find a bit of energy through your right leg. Okay, so not only are you trying to find balance on the left side, but you're trying to get the back of your right leg, your hamstring and your glute to fire a little bit. Okay, from here, you're gonna lift your left arm. This is like bird dog, but a standing variation of bird dog, or a modified warrior three. So as your left arm comes up, try to get your left arm in line with your left ear. And now watch, as you have one leg and one arm up, are you dropping into your lower back? Can you find that little bit of a lift up through your ribs? Okay, now depending on where you're at, if you feel wobbly or maybe your legs are tired, your glutes are tired, feel free to stay right where you are. If you want to try a little bit harder of a balancing challenge, can you take your left arm out to the left and your right arm out to the right? This is like airplane or a modified warrior three. Okay, let's bring both hands down, bring your right leg down, standing on your right leg, lift your left. You know, energize that left leg, flex your foot, feel like you're lifting your left thigh up, pushing down into the chair, little bit of a lift up through your back ribs, right arm comes forward, and to get that arm as best you can in line with your ear. And now noticing, are you more stable or less stable on this side? Okay, optional to stay as you are. If you'd like to challenge your balance a little bit more, maybe try both arms either forward or out to the side as warrior three or airplane. You know, maybe for more challenge, you try to lean your body a little further forward. Maybe that back leg can go a little higher. Okay, hands down. Let's bring your left leg down and stand all the way back up. And just take a second to stretch out your shoulders and bring your arms back behind you. Just be careful as you try to roll your shoulders back. Make sure you're not pushing your ribs forward. Get your ribs to stay down. Okay, now I'm going to make these movements a little bit more dynamic. So if you're worried about your balance, maybe have the back of the chair handy to grab onto just in case. I'm going to move it to the other side. So we're going to be standing on your left foot. You can have the chair if you need it. Try not to use it if possible. Okay, so we're going to add a little bit more movement in the hip. So let's stand with that deep squeeze on your left glute. So you're trying to pull your left hip in and up, and start with your right leg in front of you. Again, be careful as you lift your leg up. Make sure you're not pushing your hips forward. Okay, stack hips, ribs, shoulders in one line. Okay, now holding this deep squeeze on the left, you're going to take your right leg back behind you and then lift it back up in front of you. And finding something to focus, keep your mind focused, keep your left glute firing, and just see that mobility in your right hip. How does it feel? Okay, once you have done 5 of these, you're going to hold your right leg up, squeeze your left glute. Take your right leg now out to the right. See if you can lift the leg any higher and just notice what your pelvis is doing. Maybe if you want to keep your hips more level, your right leg doesn't go as high. Okay, all the way down. Just in case, have that chair over on your right side. Okay, standing on your right foot, bring your left leg up. Okay, again, neutral pelvis, little curve in your low back. Finding that pull inward and upward on your right side. Exhale, bring your left knee back. Inhale, bring your left knee forward. Finding stability on your right side, mobility on your left side. Okay, once you've done 5 here, you're going to hold your knee up, making sure that you're not letting your pelvis come forward. Okay, open your left knee to the left. See, are your hips level? Can you lift your leg any higher without bringing that left hip too much higher than your right? Okay, all the way in and down. Okay, let's take your feet just a little bit apart. Come forward, let your neck relax. Maybe shift your hips a couple of times from side to side. And feel free to have your knees a little bit bent here. Okay, slowly bend your knees, make your way all the way up. Okay, and then let's see if we can do this next one without the chair at all. Okay, so this one's a little bit more dynamic, more of a Pilates style movement. And standing again on your left foot, take your right leg straight out to the right. Okay, so for now, you're standing up straight, still shoulders over your hips. Your left hip is pulling in and up. Okay, and you just see there, feel what happens on the outside of your right hip. How high can you lift your leg without getting a cramp? A sensation of work, but not a cramp. Okay, arms come out to the side. As you exhale, you're going to lean a little bit left. Inhale, come back up straight. Okay, we're going to do this 4 times. Exhale, lean left. Inhale, come up. Okay, now once we've done 4 up and down, we're going to go one more time. Hold your lean to the left. Try to lift your right leg a little higher. You feel that little bit of wobbliness, finding those deep stabilizer muscles trying to wake up. Okay, let's come all the way down. Other leg, stand on your right side. Left leg out to the left. Okay, for now, shoulders over hips. And just see, without changing the position of your torso, how high can you lift your left leg? What happens in your left hip? Okay, arms reach out. Exhale, lean to the right, lift your left leg. Inhale, come back to center. Exhale, lean. Inhale, back up to center. Doing your best not to let that left foot touch the floor, but some days you just need to recapture your balance. Okay, and then last one here. Now you're going to hold that lean to the right. Can you lift your left leg any higher? What's happening on your right hip versus what's happening on your left hip? Okay, let's come all the way down. This time I'm going to take your feet a little bit wider apart. Make sure your feet are pointing straight forward. Little forward fold again, let your neck relax. And again, you can sort of move your hips side to side or bend one leg and then the other leg. A little bit of a bend in your knees. Inhale, come all the way up. And starting back in your Tadasana or mountain pose position, standing up nice and straight. Stack shoulders, ribs, hips. See, can you lift all 10 toes off the floor? Maybe spread them back down. Just find your grounding into the floor with your feet, but without gripping. Bring your hands together. Thank you for joining me today. Namaste. See you next time.